I love that you touched on that because that's the essence of what we want to bring out tonight. That you're running your small business, but don't think small. Think about everything you have at your fingertips. Think about what's different, what's available to me so that I can get to that goal. And you touch on it. I can't be just running a business all helter skelter. I'm not really sure. Just like a business, the Lord will show me what to do.
Yeah.
Not enough. I need a goal. I need vision.
Yeah, man, you have to take action, right? There's a famous story. I grew up with a church, so there's a famous story about two people. One is a next door neighbor, and the guy is very religious, and he complains that this neighbor that come next door always play music, not religious, not doing this stuff, and the neighbor goes and buys the lottery and wins the lottery. And the man just said, God, serious man, the man do everything wrong, I do everything right, and I can't win the lottery. And God just paused time right now, split the heavens, come down and say, boss, buy a ticket now. There are all these people who want something, and then they're not willing to do what it takes. They're not willing to actually play the game. You want to win the lottery, but you're not willing to buy the ticket. You want, right? God is showing you what to do, waiting to help you. But you have to take some action. And that's why we talk about faith through works. God helps those who help themselves.
Yes.
Quality work, right? You lead the horse to water, can't force a horse to drink. Too many people think that praying alone is enough, hoping is enough. You know what? Hope is not a strategy. And my parents have said that it's going to be put on my headstone because I say it so often to them. Hope is not a strategy. Go and do. We're going to go Yoda. Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. But do the thing.
Yes.
Make an effort.
And we see it a lot in investments. We have a lot of persons in our Profit Jumpstarter community. They invest, things looking bad, whole heap of red, lost it, and they say, Keisha, I just, no, I feel one day it will turn around. I say, hope, you're hoping. That's hope. Hope is not a strategy. You will sit down there and hope away for years.
Yeah, man.
Let's implement things that work. Let's implement the blueprint.
Yeah, man. Put effort.
The blueprint for building a business that make money, for building a profitable business. And you've learned it from one of the greatest. You have him right there, you say at his feet. What's that blueprint that you've learned? In general terms, if I'm here running a small business, I want to make money, what should my blueprint be?
So the first thing is to understand the 5 laws of wealth creation. So imagine, Mike talks about these 5. He used to call them the principles of wealth creation. I remember I told him, hey, you need to start posting on social media more.
Write this down.
Get ready, right?
Patricia, bring it up to say, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. So
Bam! I love that, Patricia. We are quote you. We love it. So, right, Mike used to call them the 5 principles of wealth creation. And then I said, hey, you need to post more stuff on social media. You're the richest black man in Canada. All these Americans don't know who you are, even though you did one cover story for Black Enterprise and one interview. Post some stuff. And then we say, all right, well, put something together for me and send me to post. And I was like, oh, really? Put me to work. All right, pull up Canva, design the little thing, send him. And I put 5 laws of wealth creation. And I wrote down the 5. And so he's on WhatsApp and Mike message him back and say, I've been calling it principles since like 1981. Why would you change it now? Almost like, how dare you change it? Why would you change it now? And I said, you've built 3 companies that are worth at least $1 billion US. 3 times you've done it.
Yes.
So, yep. And I said, well, then, it's not called the principle of gravity. It's called the law of gravity. When it's proven, it becomes a law. And the man replied and said, the teacher is now the student. And I remember sitting beside Dad and I showed Dad the WhatsApp message. And Dad was just like, jeez. I just replied, say, yes, sensei. I don't know. But that was why, to me, that was shocking. But it showed he's willing to learn as well. If somebody like that is willing to learn from somebody that is lower than him, beneath him, he doesn't think of you that way. He was willing to be a lifelong learner. So the 5 laws of wealth creation are the framework you need to use. When you're building a small business, you still need to look at the 5 laws. So number 1, if you think about wealthy people who have created wealth, not inherited wealth, right? They never thief the money. They never win the money. They've created wealth. Usually a billionaire, they own one business, certainly
Yes.
less than a handful. One business is probably private. It may have gone public, but they had one business. Number two, they understood that business and how it made money, the environment for that business. Number three, it was domiciled in a strong long-term growth industry. That's crucial. Domiciled in a strong long-term growth industry. Number four, they were prudent managers of OPM, other
Good
people's
morning.
money. And other people's money could be investors' money, it could be the bank's money you borrow, it could be customers' money. That is still other people's money, right? So that's number four. And then number five, most importantly, they held for the long term. So when you decide in your business and thinking about what you want to do, look at the 5 laws of wealth creation and decide, am I following this framework? Do I understand the business? Is a business domiciled in a strong long-term growth industry? Yeah. How many businesses am I trying to do at the same time? And these are the questions you have to ask yourself and constantly double check against them every year, every quarter, however often you want to do it. Am I doing these things? Those are the 5 most important things. After you have that in place, then you need to move on. So number one, you have a framework. Number two, you need to have control of emotions. How do you maintain control of emotions? You go back to the framework. That's it. Just go back to the framework. You don't make a decision because you're hype or the person sweet you up. No. Framework. And then lastly, you want to have access to good people, right? You have to hire talent. You cannot build a business by yourself. So you need access to good people, access to capital, and then you need access to good opportunities. So that means you need to go and network to build that. So those 3 things. So you get those in place. And then the most important part after all that is that you now need to get very focused. I want to scale the business. It's not enough to have those things and then you don't scale. Then you don't create generational wealth. You live a nice life, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, just admit that. Don't go ask no investor for the money. Don't complain to nobody. You want a lifestyle business. Fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
But if you want to create generational wealth, it's not going to be a lifestyle business. You have to put in more work, which means you need to go and identify the role model, get the recipe, and don't change the recipe. And then execute the recipe. Shut your ears to everybody else that's telling you, no man, do it this way, you should do this, you should do that. Okay, have you done it before? Who's your role model? Who's your role model company? No, you have none of that. Then I'm focused on this, guys. Like this part man I do. I want to be the Michael Jordan of my generation. My name is LeBron James, and I'm going into the NBA straight out of high school. How many people tell the man him shouldn't do that? Told Kobe they shouldn't do that. You should go to college, you should do this. No, at this man I do. Let me do this thing. Support me. And if you're not going to support me, step aside and leave me alone.
One of the most important. Huh?
And you have to say that to some people, you know. You have to say that to them.
I was gonna say, when I started working, one of the most important lessons I got from my mentor at the time, which stick with me, is don't take advice about buying a house from a homeless person.
Woo!
They have to be where you want to be. And they can tell me. So even though anybody that said anything, I ask them a qualifying question. Have you done it?
Have you done it before?
My ears lock off. Don't want to hear no more.
Yeah, man. Some people don't like when we say that because they feel that they are so smart and they've read so much and they can share. And yes, everybody can share something, but that don't mean it's good for you to absorb. Just because they can share something or have some personal experience don't mean they can do it, right? So have you ever invested in a private equity fund? No. So why are you telling me how private equity fund work and why to invest or why not to invest in? Like, geez, wow. Really? Okay.
That's the money side of it, you know. Some people will say, yeah, you know, I have this to tell you about you and your marriage. You married?
Oof. So, yeah, man. You know, I was going to say, you know, don't take marriage advice from a divorced person.
Yeah. These are, you know, qualifying questions, people. So it goes.